The conflict between Russia and Ukraine is deeply rooted in a shared history spanning centuries. This complex relationship has been shaped by numerous historical events, cultural exchanges, and political upheavals that have left an indelible mark on both nations. Both nations share cultural and religious ties with roots tracing back to the Eastern Slavic civilization. The Eastern Orthodox Church in particular has played a significant role in shaping the spiritual and cultural landscape of both countries. For centuries, Ukraine was a part of the Russian Empire. During this period, Ukraine experienced significant cultural and political influence from Russia, which left a lasting impact on its development. It was later incorporated into the Soviet Union as the Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic. Under Soviet rule, Ukraine underwent industrialization and collectivization, which brought both progress and hardship to its people. Despite this shared past, Ukraine has always maintained a distinct identity. Its rich traditions, folk dances, and vibrant cultural heritage have been preserved and celebrated by its people. The country boasts a unique language and culture. The Ukrainian language, with its own distinct literature and art, has been a cornerstone of national identity and pride. Ukraine declared its independence from the crumbling Soviet Union in 1991. This historic moment was a turning point as Ukrainians sought to forge their own path and establish a sovereign nation. This move was ratified by a referendum in which the majority of Ukrainians voted unequivocally for freedom and self-determination. The overwhelming support for independence demonstrated the strong desire of the Ukrainian people to control their own destiny. However, the end of the Cold War did not bring an end to tensions. The newly independent Ukraine faced numerous challenges, including economic difficulties, political instability, and ongoing disputes with Russia. Russia's ambition to maintain influence over its neighbors, particularly Ukraine, remained strong. The Kremlin's efforts to assert its dominance often led to friction and conflict. The 2004 Orange Revolution, which saw Ukrainians protesting against a rigged election in favor of a pro-Russian leader, further highlighted these tensions. The mass protests and subsequent political changes underscored the deep divisions within Ukrainian society. The annexation of Crimea by Russia in 2014 marked a turning point. This bold move by Russia was seen as a direct challenge to Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. This event, condemned by the international community, was a clear violation of Ukraine's sovereignty. The annexation led to widespread international sanctions against Russia and increased tensions in the region. It signaled Russia's willingness to use military force to achieve its geopolitical goals. The ongoing conflict in eastern Ukraine and the broader geopolitical struggle between Russia and the West continue to shape the region's future. The current conflict, which escalated in February 2022 with a full-scale Russian invasion, has been marked by intense fighting and significant territorial changes. The world watched in shock as Russian tanks rolled across the border, igniting a conflict that has since drawn in international attention and concern. Russia's initial objective was to swiftly capture Kyiv and topple the Ukrainian government. This bold move was intended to quickly destabilize Ukraine and bring it under Russian control. However, this plan was met with fierce resistance from the Ukrainian people. Ukrainian soldiers, bolstered by civilian volunteers, mounted a formidable defense that stalled the Russian advance. The conflict has since morphed into a war of attrition, with both sides suffering heavy losses. The human cost has been staggering, with countless lives lost and many more injured. Front lines have shifted back and forth, with neither side able to maintain a decisive advantage for long. This constant movement has led to widespread destruction and chaos. Key cities have been reduced to rubble. The relentless bombardment has left many urban areas unrecognizable, with infrastructure in ruins and civilian life severely disrupted. Millions of Ukrainians have been displaced from their homes. Families have been torn apart, and the refugee crisis has put immense pressure on neighboring countries and international aid organizations. Despite setbacks, Russia continues to occupy large swaths of Ukrainian territory. The occupation has led to a tense and volatile situation, with frequent skirmishes and ongoing resistance from Ukrainian forces. The eastern Donbas region in particular has seen some of the most brutal fighting. This area has become a focal point of the conflict, with both sides heavily fortifying their positions. The conflict has evolved into a grinding war of attrition, with both sides entrenched in defensive positions. The prolonged nature of the fighting has led to a stalemate, with no clear end in sight. Despite being outgunned and outmanned, the Ukrainian military has demonstrated remarkable resilience and tactical ingenuity. The Ukrainians have effectively utilized Western-supplied weapons, including anti-tank and anti-aircraft systems, to inflict heavy losses on Russian forces. Beyond their military prowess, the Ukrainian people have shown unwavering spirit and determination. Civilians have taken up arms to defend their homeland. Ordinary citizens have contributed to the war effort by providing logistical support, information, and even homemade defenses. This national unity, coupled with strategic leadership from President Volodymyr Zelensky, has been crucial in bolstering Ukraine's defense. Zelensky, a former comedian, has emerged as a wartime leader of remarkable courage and resolve, rallying his people and garnering international support. The conflict in Ukraine has highlighted the increasing role of technology, particularly drones, in modern warfare. Ukraine has effectively deployed drones for reconnaissance, targeting, and even striking high-value Russian assets. Drones have provided Ukraine with an asymmetric advantage. They are relatively inexpensive and offer a high degree of flexibility and precision. Turkish-made Bayraktar TB2 drones in particular have gained notoriety for their effectiveness against Russian armor and artillery. Beyond drones, Ukraine has also leveraged cyber warfare capabilities to disrupt Russian operations. The conflict has underscored the evolving nature of warfare in the 21st century, where technology plays an increasingly significant role. Section 5. The West's Helping Hand: International Involvement and its Impact. The conflict in Ukraine has drawn significant international attention and involvement. The United States, along with its NATO allies, has provided Ukraine with billions of dollars in military aid, including lethal weapons systems, intelligence sharing, and training. This support has been crucial in bolstering Ukraine's defenses and enabling it to resist Russia's aggression. The West has also imposed crippling sanctions on Russia, targeting its economy, financial institutions, and key individuals. The conflict has exposed the fault lines in the international order. It has highlighted the challenges of maintaining global security in an era of great power competition. Section 6. A Delicate Balance: Strategic Challenges and Disagreements. Despite their support for Ukraine, Western nations have been cautious about escalating the conflict. There have been disagreements over the types of weapons to provide to Ukraine, with some arguing against sending offensive weapons that could provoke Russia. This balancing act reflects the complex geopolitical realities of the conflict. The West is attempting to support Ukraine while avoiding a direct military confrontation with Russia, a nuclear-armed power. Within Ukraine, there have also been debates about the best strategy for achieving victory. Some advocate for a negotiated settlement, while others believe that only a complete military defeat of Russia will suffice. Section 7. An Uncertain Future: Potential Scenarios and Global Implications. The future trajectory of the Russia-Ukraine conflict remains uncertain. The conflict could continue to grind on for months or even years, resulting in a protracted stalemate with devastating humanitarian consequences. Alternatively, a negotiated settlement could be reached, though this would likely involve significant concessions from both sides. The outcome of the conflict will have far-reaching implications for European security, the future of NATO, and the global order. It has already reshaped geopolitical alliances and exposed the fragility of the post-Cold War security architecture. Section 8. The Human Cost of War: A Reminder of the Stakes. Beyond the geopolitical calculations, it is crucial to remember the devastating human cost of the conflict. Thousands of innocent civilians have been killed. Millions have been displaced from their homes. The war has had a profound impact on the lives of ordinary Ukrainians, leaving lasting scars on individuals, families, and communities. The conflict serves as a stark reminder of the human cost of war and the urgent need for peace. International organizations and humanitarian agencies are working tirelessly to provide aid and support to those affected by the conflict. However, the scale of the humanitarian crisis is immense. Section 9. Echoes of a Protracted Conflict: A Look Towards an Uncertain Future. The conflict in Ukraine is a tragedy for all involved. The destruction and loss of life have left deep scars on the nation and its people. Families have been torn apart, homes reduced to rubble, and communities shattered. It is a stark reminder of the human cost of war and the fragility of peace. The images of mourning families and memorials filled with flowers and candles are a testament to the profound grief and loss experienced by so many. As the conflict enters its next phase, the international community must continue to seek ways to end the violence and alleviate the suffering. Diplomatic efforts and international cooperation are crucial in finding a path forward. The need for a negotiated settlement is paramount. Peace talks and negotiations are essential steps towards resolving the conflict and bringing stability to the region. However, achieving a lasting peace will require addressing the underlying issues that led to the conflict. This involves not only political and territorial disputes, but also economic and social challenges. This includes respecting Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity, ensuring that the nation's borders are recognized and upheld, as well as addressing Russia's legitimate security concerns. Both sides must engage in open and honest dialogue to find common ground and build trust. The road to peace will be long and arduous. Rebuilding the nation and healing the wounds of war will take time, patience, and unwavering commitment. However, the pursuit of a peaceful resolution must remain the ultimate goal. The hope for a brighter future, free from conflict and filled with prosperity, drives the efforts of all those working towards peace.